Hello everyone and welcome to the British Accent Podcast. I'm Oliver, and I'm here today with my lovely co-host, Emma.
Hi everyone. So happy to be back with you. Today's topic is one of my absolute favorites: how to start a language journal in English. It's such a great tool for improving fluency, and honestly, it's easier than most people think.
Absolutely. A lot of learners feel stuck between grammar drills and speaking practice, but journaling is that sweet spot in between. You get to practice forming thoughts, writing sentences, and reflecting in English. Emma, how did journaling help you when you were learning French?
Oh, massively. I used to write about my day, how I was feeling, or just describe things around me. It helped me get comfortable using everyday vocabulary. And you don't need to write a novel, just a paragraph a day is enough.
That's a good point. People often think they need to write something perfect, but the truth is, mistakes are welcome. It's your private space to grow. Plus, you can look back after a few months and see how far you've come.
Exactly. And you can also track the words or grammar patterns you've used and start noticing what you naturally lean toward. It's like building a map of your English brain.
I love that, a map of your English brain. So if someone's starting out, what would you recommend for their very first journal entry?
Start simple. Write about your day. Today, I woke up at 7 a.m., had coffee, went to work. Even if it feels boring, it's great practice. Or, if you're feeling creative, write a short paragraph about your future goals in English.
And if you don't know a word, don't stop. Just write it in your own language and look it up later. The important thing is to keep the flow going.
Yes. And another tip: don't worry too much about grammar. Let your ideas come out naturally. You can always edit later if you want, but the first step is getting your thoughts on the page.
Such solid advice. We'll dive deeper into some journal prompts and tools you can use right after this.
Let's talk about prompts for a moment. A lot of learners feel stuck staring at a blank page. So here's one that works like magic. What did I learn today? It encourages reflection and reinforces new knowledge.
That's a good one. I also love the "if I could" prompt. For example, if I could visit any place in the world, I would go to, and then just continue with reasons, descriptions, and even imaginary conversations.
Oh yes. And for beginners, using sentence starters can be really helpful. Things like "I feel," or "I want to," or "my favorite." They give structure and get your brain working in English.
Exactly. And for those who like structure, there are also journaling templates you can follow. Like a daily entry with these sections: date, mood, what I did today, one new word I learned, and a sentence using that word.
That's brilliant. You can also keep a vocabulary list at the end of each entry. So if you looked up 5 new words that day, jot them down with simple example sentences. That's how you build active vocabulary.
Yes. And don't forget, you can journal in different styles. Some days may be a diary-style reflection, other days maybe you want to write a short story, describe a picture, or even draft a letter to someone.
Oh, writing letters to imaginary people is a great one. Dear future me, or Dear English, or even Dear my favorite actor. Just write how you feel. It makes it personal and fun.
And here's something cool: some learners record themselves reading their journal entries out loud. It turns journaling into speaking practice too. Double win.
That's such a great idea. You improve fluency, pronunciation, and confidence. And it can be hilarious to listen back and hear how much you've improved over time.
Also, a quick note: your journal doesn't have to be on paper. You can use apps like Notion, Evernote, Google Docs, or even voice memos if you're more into speaking than writing.
Right. Journaling should suit your personality. If you love writing by hand, use a notebook. If you're techy, go digital. What matters is consistency and making it a habit.
Even 5 minutes a day adds up. Think about it, 5 minutes a day for 1 month means you've written over 2.5 hours of English thoughts.
That's more practice than most people get in a classroom. And it's all personalized to you. What you care about. What you think about. What you want to say.
Now that's powerful. Alright, shall we explore a few more creative journal activities?
Absolutely. One of my favorites is the one-word journal. Every day, you pick just one word, any word, and write about it. It could be hope, challenge, or even something simple like coffee. Then just explore what that word means to you, how it connects to your day, or a memory around it.
That's a really fun and deep one. It helps build emotional vocabulary, too, which is something textbooks rarely focus on. Another great activity is rewriting your past journal entries in better English after a few weeks. You can see your progress and make corrections.
Yes. Revision journaling. You get to be your own teacher and editor. Also, for intermediate learners trying to level up, summarizing a podcast, a YouTube video, or a short news article in their journal can be powerful.
Exactly. It practices comprehension, summarizing, and paraphrasing, all very important skills. And for those who enjoy creativity, why not try writing dialogues? You can imagine a conversation between two people, maybe even yourself and a famous person.
Ha, I love that. Emma and Elon Musk talk about learning languages. It's like role-play practice in written form. And it sharpens your sentence-building skills in realistic contexts.
Here's another one. Use photos from your day or the internet and write descriptions. Describe what's happening in the image, how people might be feeling, what happened before or after that moment.
Brilliant for expanding descriptive vocabulary. And you can take it further. Write mini stories based on the photo. What if that photo is from a spy mission? Or a surprise birthday? It unlocks creativity.
That's the beauty of language journaling, it's flexible. Whether you're a thinker, a storyteller, a list maker, or even someone who loves doodles with captions, there's a way to make it yours.
And the more you make it yours, the more motivated you'll feel to keep going. Because it won't feel like homework, it'll feel like you.
Exactly. Consistency is easier when you actually enjoy the process. So whether it's 2 lines or 2 pages, just keep writing. Keep thinking in English. That's how real fluency builds.
Another great tip is to reflect on conversations you've had throughout the day. Maybe you had a chat with a friend, a teacher, or a store clerk. Write about it in English. How did it go? What would you say differently if you could do it again?
Yes, that's powerful. It helps you replay real-life situations and mentally prepare for next time. You can even write down key phrases or expressions you wished you had used in that moment.
And don't forget about mood journaling. Each day, write about how you feel using a variety of emotion-related vocabulary. Not just happy or sad, but words like frustrated, hopeful, anxious, relieved. It makes your emotional range in English much richer.
Totally. That's where real fluency lies, not just in grammar, but in being able to express yourself deeply. And if you're ever stuck for ideas, you can find journaling prompts online. Things like, what would you do if you had $1 million? Or, describe your dream day.
Or even language-specific prompts like, write a thank you letter to your favorite English word. That's a fun one.
I might write to the word, yet. It's so small but so powerful, I don't understand this, yet. Gives hope.
I love that. Mine might be serendipity. Sounds magical. Journaling like this makes learning feel personal and meaningful, and it gives you a private space to experiment with language without fear of judgment.
And the more you do it, the more natural it feels to think in English. That's the real goal, making English part of how you experience the world, not just something you study.
Exactly. Your journal becomes your practice space, your safe zone, and your growth tracker all in one.
And here's another idea: every once in a while, go back and read your old entries. You'll be surprised at how much you've improved. Maybe your vocabulary was simpler, your sentences shorter, or your grammar had more mistakes. But that's exactly what makes it motivating. You can see your growth.
Yes. It's like a time capsule of your English journey. Sometimes we don't notice progress day to day, but when you flip through your past writing, it's so clear. And that feeling, it keeps you going.
Absolutely. You can even rewrite an old journal entry using your current skills. Try to say the same thing, but more naturally or with richer vocabulary. It's a great way to level up your writing without needing new topics.
Oh, that's a great challenge. And if you're into creativity, you can also try writing short stories, poems, or even imaginary letters to historical figures, just anything that gets you using English freely.
Yes, and remember, your language journal doesn't have to be perfect. It's for you. No one else needs to read it unless you want to share. The important thing is consistency, not perfection.
Totally agree. Even 5 minutes a day is enough to build a habit. The more you write, the more fluent and confident you'll become in expressing your thoughts, and that carries over into speaking too.
Right, and speaking of expressing thoughts, sometimes when you're writing in your journal, you'll come across words or phrases you don't know how to say in English. That's actually a good thing.
Exactly. Because that's where the real learning happens. You can pause, look up the word or expression, maybe even note a few synonyms, and suddenly, you've added a new piece to your vocabulary toolkit.
And even better, when you learn a word that way, through actual use, it sticks. It's not just a random vocabulary list, it's a word you needed and used in context.
That's such an important point. Plus, you can create your own mini vocabulary section in the journal. Like a word bank at the back where you list all the new expressions you learn as you write.
Yes. And you can make it even more useful by adding example sentences in your own words, or even doodles if you're a visual learner. Make the journal feel personal and fun.
Honestly, it can become something really special over time, a safe place to grow, reflect, and track your journey. Writing daily in English might feel small at first, but it builds a strong foundation for everything else: speaking, reading, listening.
Absolutely. It's not just writing practice, it's thinking in English, and that's a powerful shift. It's like training your brain to function naturally in a second language.
And once your brain starts functioning in English more naturally, you'll notice it spills over into other areas too, like speaking. You'll hesitate less, because your thoughts are already forming in English, thanks to the habit of journaling.
Totally. And another great bonus? Writing in a journal helps reduce that fear of making mistakes. It's your private space. No pressure, no judgment. You're free to experiment with language, grammar, tone, whatever you like.
Yes. It's a great place to practice expressing emotions, telling stories, or even imagining conversations. For example, you can write a fictional dialogue or pretend you're emailing a friend about your day. It's still English practice.
Exactly. And it can be as short or as long as you want. Even 5 minutes a day makes a difference. The key is consistency, just like going to the gym, but for your language muscles.
Love that, language muscles. And one last tip: don't overthink the grammar. Just write. You can always review and correct it later. The main goal is to communicate your thoughts in English, not write a perfect essay.
Yes, let it flow. Over time, your grammar will improve naturally from the exposure and correction. But the confidence that comes from doing it every day, building the habit, and seeing your own growth on the page.
So if you've been thinking about starting a language journal, take this as your sign. Just grab a notebook or open a blank document and begin today. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be yours.
Absolutely. And remember, Progress comes from practice, not perfection. The more you write, the more fluent and confident you'll become. It's one of the simplest yet most powerful tools for language learning.
Thanks for joining us today on the British Accent Podcast. We hope this episode inspires you to pick up that pen or keyboard and make journaling part of your English journey.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep speaking English with confidence. Cheers!